Welcome to Louisiana Gardening Family. Today we got a lot going on. The first thing we're going to do today is show you, for those people that one guy asked me about the miracle-berry plant. It's actually a beautiful plant for you to grow.
Yes, I was messing with your miracle-berry last night.
Alright. So, I got this from Miracle Fruit Farm, and it's called a miracle fruit.
Miracle-berry.
Miracle-berry, yeah. And I think a lot of times with exotic plants or tropicals, we kind of are unsure, especially if we're from areas that are not tropical. We kind of tend to not want to mess with tropical plants because they cost more. Like this costs $50. It's well worth the $50 just to be growing it, but you do run the risk of this thing dying and $50 gone. I've grown them from seed before, and the mix that I used when I was growing them from seed was.
Let's see what my giant eater.
Yes, you can go. Say bye bye to everybody. Say see y'all later.
See you later.
Alright, go ahead. So what I used, it was a pine bark mulch and peat moss was to start the seeds, and the seed is inside the berry. So if you have a berry, the seed doesn't last long. It's not as valuable. So most of the times when you if you want to plant the seed, once you get a miracle fruit, you have to do it quickly, within a few days to a week, or try to keep it moist, right? So I went to our local nursery and I got a bag of pine bark mulch. It costs about $2. And I got some sphagnum peat moss still left over. This costs like $8 and I've been had it for maybe a year. And all they want is 50-50 mix. The pine bark, of course, is going to be a little bit on the acidic side, and the peat moss is what people use for the most of the blueberries and things like that, because they love acidity. Same thing for the miracle berry plant or the miracle fruit plant, is it likes acidity. So we're going to take it out of this pot and we're going to put it in this pot. Let me pick it up. So from this one to this one, and I'm choosing this bigger pot because I want this to be the last pot we put it in, and also it's a longer pot, so you see how deep it is. And the miracle fruit has a tendency to have a longer tap root, so I want to give that root a longer route to go on. So without that, give us a second. We're going to mix this pine bark mulch in a separate container, and then we're going to try to do the transplant thing. Give us a second. My baby, she wants to plant so bad, right? So bad. So we gotta do that. Give us a second and we coming right back. We got the peat moss, and it's gonna hold that moisture, but also you got your pine bark, because the miracle fruit plant is a funny plant. It doesn't like to be dry and it doesn't like to be wet. So the pine bark is gonna help keep it a little dry, and the peat moss is gonna hold that moisture, because it's actually a plant that's grown, or it's a fruit or a tree or shrub that's original to the forest area in West Africa. So it needs to be, I think, the rainforest, they tell me, and it needs to have some moisture. It likes moisture, humidity, things like that. So we're gonna mix this all in. This here is called Burpee's Natural Organic for Azalea, Camellia, and Rhododendron, and it's if you look here, it's a 434. So NPK 434. Not really that strong, so you don't have to worry about how much you put if you're gonna over put, because it's not really that strong anyway, and it's organic, so it's a slower release fertilizer. So I'm gonna add, I don't measure almost ever, And I'm not even going to use all of this, so I'll probably end up taking the rest of this and maybe sprinkling it around some blueberry plants just for whatever I have left over, which isn't going to be much. So I'm going to pick this up instead of. So once again, just a mix. Okay, so just so y'all can see, I'm going to kind of fill it up. About halfway. Do our test, see where it comes up to. I think that's a good height. What you think? I think so. So now I'm gonna take it out of the pot. Check out the root system on it. We can use this pot for something else. Check that out. It's a lot of root growth. I wouldn't say it's root bound, but I do see a lot of root growth on it. So, looks fairly healthy. So we'll set it in. Try to spread those roots out a little bit. And then we'll just start filling in around the sides, holding it in place right where we want it, right in the middle. Gonna water it in, let it settle a little bit, and then we're gonna add a little bit more of the mix, and then I'm gonna take that and pour it around some blueberry plant. Last thing we do is we wanna water it in. Make sure we get the air pockets out. Now I wish I really had rainwater for this, but I didn't, so I just got some out the hose pipe. Because I just used all of my rainwater. I usually don't put faucet water on this plant, period. Everything we usually put on this is all rainwater. I try to keep it as close to nature as possible. Hope y'all go buy this miracle fruit plant from wherever you can get it from. I found the best place we bought it off of eBay and some other places, but the best place I found them was that Miracle Fruit Farm, somewhere down in Florida. And they actually give you a nice size plant. Everywhere else it's cheaper, like $20, $30, but you get a plant like this tall. So to pay an extra $20, pay $50, and actually get a plant that's actually producing and actually well established, I think you'll get your money's worth on that. So check us out on our next episode, and thank you for watching us. And I'm about to go put Beverly to work on that tiller. See ya.